In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this fidget spinner. Keep in mind, this is a fidget spinner. It's not designed to spin for a long time. It's designed to be relatively cheap, pretty portable, and to give you something to fidget with. What I've used to make this fidget spinner is just 3 608 bearings and some Instamorph, only about 10 grams. You can get packs of 4 608 bearings on eBay for pretty cheap, about $4 or $5, and you can get Instamorph 100 grams, which is way more than what you're going to need for this project, also for around $4 or $5. After I removed the seals from my bearings, I saw that there was tons of really thick gunk in them. It was really gross and they would never have spun that way. So what I did was I put them in some eucalyptus oil, I shook them around and then cleaned them with a toothbrush, and they came up pretty well and spin pretty well now. So you can use eucalyptus oil if you have that at home. You can use nail polish remover, you can use maybe methylated spirits, I don't know. There's heaps of videos on that on YouTube, so you just need to look it up. But anyway, let's get into it. What you're going to need to make this fidget spinner is 3 bearings of the same size. I suggest 608s, they're easy to come by. I've also cleaned these out with eucalyptus oil so that they're not greasy and gross. I also have here about 10 grams of Instamorph. That is really more than what you're going to need for this project, but you know, you do want a bit extra just in case something goes horribly wrong. You're also going to need some hot water above 60 degrees Celsius. Boiling it in the kettle or a pot works really well. You're also going to need some strong, sharp kitchen shears like this pair that I have here. And in addition to that, you are going to need a hairdryer or a heat gun. If you have a heat gun, it will be better and more accurate and, you know, probably a lot easier. You also optionally can use some crayons. Now, if you are going to use crayons to color the Instamorph, only use Crayola. Others you will have trouble with. So now what I'm doing here is just taking the Instamorph, putting it in the hot water, putting the crayons into the mix, and as you can see, the Instamorph has gone from a sort of white pellet to being transparent, and the crayon is sort of mixed in there. What needs to happen now is that the color needs to be kneaded through all of the Instamorph, and that's just what I'm doing here, just trying to get the color really mixed in there. As you can see, it has started to set, so I've just put it back into the hot water there, and I'm reshaping it and making a sheet of Instamorph, which we're going to use to wrap our bearings in. So you just have to wait until that becomes hard and like a plastic. Then you're going to need to take the scissors and cut 3 strips of the Instamorph to wrap around the bearing. It's going to be, you know, something like this. If your Instamorph is still a bit warm, you can do what I've done here and just try and shape them a bit so that it's a little easier when you are trying to get them to attach to the bearing. I've got some other colors from older projects that I've used here, so don't worry if you only have 3 of the same color. And then I've taken one of the pieces of Instamorph that I've cut and I'm heating that up after I've heated the bearing with the hairdryer. It looks like this. Sorry, that's a little bit out of frame, but essentially you're just trying to get the Instamorph to wrap around the bearing. Take off any little excess bits that you can. It will make the finished product a little bit nicer, easier to hold and flick. Basically, yeah, just shape it, try and get a smooth surface with it, and then repeat it with the other 2 bearings. As you can see, I am heating the bearing up first. That really does help because it means that the Instamorph is warm, the bearing is warm, and so it all goes on smoothly. If you try and wrap it around a cold bearing, you're going to have issues getting the Instamorph to wrap. It's going to set in random places, you know, because it's supposed to be solid at room temperature. It's just be careful, obviously, if you are using steel bearings, because they do get hot. The Instamorph does get hot. Don't burn yourself. Use common sense. If you're really very concerned about it, or if you are trying to do this with kids or something, maybe, you know, use gloves. So I really suggest that every time the Instamorph is soft, you try to shape it as best you can, make it as even all the way around as you can. It just makes things a lot nicer at the end. So basically, here are the 3 bearings now with the Instamorph around them. The next step is going to be getting them all together into one piece. I'm just reshaping them there. Just constantly reshaping through this whole video. I've lined them up on a ruler to get them sort of even, but generally I just eye this. So what I'm doing now is, obviously, you can see, using the hairdryer to just heat up the bearings, and then I've pushed them together. Now I'm going to get the ruler and measure and make sure there's an equal distance between the bearings so that it's more balanced. And again, the Instamorph is malleable, so I'm trying to mold it and make it more ergonomic, I guess, really. I've flipped it over here and I'm doing the same thing again, just constantly shaping it. This, of course, is up to you. If you don't care what it feels like, you don't have to go to those lengths. Now, it's set a bit more, and it's workable like this. This is going to spin for you. This is going to do the job that you want it to do. But I absolutely do recommend shaping it more and taking more time to get it nice. Here's your finished product. That's what the frame looks like. And here is what it looks like with the bearings in it. It works pretty well, but it is a fidget toy. It's not as a spinner that's supposed to spin for a long time. It's just a quick, easy, and cheap way to make yourself a spin toy. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it helped you either do this DIY or come up with a different way to make a fidget spinner that works for you. I made a cap with Instamorph. If you want me to show you how to do that, leave a like on this video and I'll make a video